So I went through this period in my life where literally every man I kissed or slept with or whatever would tell me after the fact that he had a girlfriend, or I would find out somehow that he had a girlfriend.
What a surprise. All of the chads, all of the guys that you want to date are taken. Now guys, I am not defending cheating, but I just find it very coincidental that you have all of these women competing for the same men, and then they are surprised when they are unable to be the one that he chooses. Let's keep going.
And you know, that happening once is enough, but this quite literally happened 4 times within the space of 6 months. The first time I was out with my friend and we were at a club and this guy was like all over me, we were kissing, blah, 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 everything was going well. And then it was like 5 a.m. and I was like, okay, I've got to go home. So we went home and then I think I followed him on Instagram or something and he like didn't accept my request. And I was like, that's really weird. So like I went onto Facebook and I was doing some stalking and it turns out he had a girlfriend. And I was like, what the fuck?
What a surprise. Random men that you meet at the club and you go home with at 5 in the morning aren't the best people. Okay, this guy is obviously a scum, a piece of human scum for cheating on his girlfriend. Guys, I don't think cheating is good no matter what gender you are. I think it's a horrible thing to do to someone. I just find it interesting how girls are seeming to think that they can find their Prince Charming at a nightclub. Okay, what are you going to tell your kids when you get married, or, you know, Lord forbid for the man he gets married, but what are you going to tell your kids when you get married and they come into the universe down the line? You're going to tell them that you met the father at the club, okay, and that he was such a fantastic human being. Like, girls will always do this, man. They'll complain about the type of men that they date, but you are picking up men from the club that you didn't even know.
Anyway, so that was the first one. And then the next one I slept with, and I was literally in bed with him. And right after, he was like, oh, by the way, I have a girlfriend. Why did he tell me that? I'm not really sure. Maybe he felt guilty. But the weird part was that he then said he had a girlfriend, but then he was like, okay, should we go again? I'm like, but you just told me you had a girlfriend. Like, in what world would I then sleep with you again? Like,
I mean, she probably did. Let's be honest, guys. I don't know this woman personally, but I don't see like, oh yeah, I didn't get with him again after he told me this information. You know, all of this could be avoided if you actually talked about commitment before you jumped into bed with somebody. Like, I know this is very difficult to understand. This is something that's not very quote-unquote empowering, but you know, you don't have to jump into bed with every attractive guy that you see. You can actually take it slow. You can have a conversation, compare morals, values, ethics, you know, the direction that you want to take things in. But no, what we're doing is we're jumping ahead. We're jumping the gun. We're going in and we're saying, you know what? I'm going to get with this guy because he's attractive. I'm going to meet this guy at the club. I'm going to meet this guy off of Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, Instagram, whatever the case may be. And then we are shocked and surprised when the men that we choose are garbage. You know, not to say all men on these applications are garbage. That's not what I'm saying at all, guys. But, you know, the girls will go on here. They'll chase the very attractive men. They will all compete for the top percentage of men. And then they will complain when they are not the woman who is chosen. Or they'll act surprised when he has a relationship. And let me tell you something, guys. A lot of these women, when they're complaining about men having relationships or men being married, let me let you in on a little secret here. A lot of them know this. And that's the reason why they are chasing the guy in the first place. They know that he has a girl. They know that he has a wife or whatever the case may be. And that's why the man is attractive to them. You go out there, guys, you ask women, and a lot of them will tell you that their best friends or their girlfriends, acquaintances have tried to steal their man. They know that the man's taken. They know that the man's in a relationship, but they will chase him anyway. Let's keep going.
That makes me guilty by association. Nuh-uh. So out I went. And then another time, this was a bit different. Technically it wasn't cheating, but it was almost cheating. He had a girlfriend and they had been together for like 6 months, and he lied to me and told me that they had in fact broken up when they actually had not. And he was like, do you want to come over? Like, let's catch up, let's do something. And we knew what that involved. We knew that that was more than just like friendly hanging out.
Yeah, but this is what you pass it off as. Listen to what she just said there, okay? She said that she was meeting up with this man and that she knew that it was more than just a friendly hangout. This is why when girls come along and they say, hey, I'm out, you know, I'm just hanging out with a friend. Oh, he's just a friend of mine, okay? a lot of these girls know that the man is not interested in friendship. He's not hanging out with you because he likes the intellectual conversation. He's not having brunch with you because he actually cares about you, and you know this. Women have backup plans. Okay, and they call these backup plans, they call them friends. But every girl knows that that guy who she's going on a brunch date with, that dude that she's hanging out with, he's not a friend. He absolutely isn't. This is something that is used to gaslight men. Men are called insecure, men are called controlling. And you know what, guys? I agree. I say we as guys, gentlemen, we are far too controlling. Let the women do what they want, but you know what? They don't get a relationship for it. If you want to go out, you want to act like a 304, you want to do questionable behaviors, you want to gaslight men, you want to treat them like trash, not to say that this woman has done it, but just in general, right? Then men don't have to commit to you. And I don't encourage men to go out here and go, yeah, you know what, I'm going to commit to her, even though it's such a terrible decision.
And I think in the messages, yeah, like we literally said it. So, yeah, and then, something just didn't sit well with me. I was like, something feels really off. I don't know what it is. Like something, I just have got a vibe here. I've got a vibe. So I went on to what I thought was his ex-girlfriend's Instagram. All I had to do was watch her story, and she was quite literally with him whilst he was messaging me saying that he wanted to me. Like, wow. Wow. What a period of my life, honestly.
Guys, if you're going to sit here and you're going to tell me that this woman didn't know every single time that the guy had a girlfriend, number one, I probably wouldn't believe you. And number two, even if he had a girlfriend every single time, the least this woman could do would be, I don't know, check before she hooks up with random guys. Like, it's interesting to me how you'll have these girls go out here, guys. They'll engage in these situations, and then afterwards they'll be like, hey, wait a minute, something was wrong about this situation. Of course it was. You just jumped headfirst into it. You're meeting up with random guys, you don't know the men at all, and then you're going into these situations and you're surprised when the dude has a girlfriend, when he hasn't got the best moral character, whatever the case may be, and somehow we're going to act like a victim in every single one of the situations. And I would also argue that a lot of the times these girls actually do know that the man is seeing other women, and that's why she's there in the first place. But guys, we have yet another situation where this is the case. So here we have another girl, and this is an interesting story from memory. She's going to be telling us that she's casually dating a guy, and then I think she gets offended when she finds out that he's seeing other women. I can't quite remember, but let's jump into the story. I remember having a bit of a laugh at this one. Let's take a listen to what she has to say. And guys, remember, as always, leave your thoughts and your comments. What do you think about these particular situations? Let's jump in.
I found a woman's ring in the bed of the man that I was sleeping with. I went on multiple dates with this motherfucker. Multiple. And it was my decision, and I decided I was going to grace this man with the opportunity to take our relationship to the next level.
That's not narcissistic at all. So you were casually dating this man, and you found a ring in his bed. Number one, if it is a girl's ring, who cares? He's not exclusive with you. He hasn't committed to you, so why do you feel entitled to a man's, commitment? I love this, guys, okay? Men are not entitled to women's bodies. Fine. But you know what else that means? Women are not entitled to a man's time. They are not entitled to a man's exclusivity, and they are not entitled to a man's wallet. But all of a sudden we have problems with these. Guys, I'm just going to play that back. It's so funny. Like, they just don't see it. Let's take a look.
I found a woman's ring in the bed of the man that I was sleeping with. I went on multiple dates with this motherfucker.
Not in a relationship with him.
Well, and it was my decision, and I decided I was going to grace this man with the opportunity to take our relationship to the next level.
I cannot understate, guys, how narcissistic that statement is. I'm going to grace him with the opportunity to suggest a relationship to me. I'm sorry, you're the one who seems like you give a damn. You're the one who seems like you're actually offended that he's with other women. Okay, so why aren't you pushing for the relationship? Guys, this has to be some of the most narcissistic crap that I've ever heard. Okay, girls coming along and being like, I'm going to grace you with the opportunity to ask me for a relationship. No, absolutely not. You can be by yourself and alone.
Okay, because it was what I wanted to do, so fuck off. All was said and done, I'm nestled up, gonna go night-night. I feel a little pinch on my butt cheek. I was like, the fuck? Reach down and grab a little fucking gold ring. Tiny little gold ring. Motherfucker sitting next to me is 6'4", 250. That ain't his.
Look at that, right? So the dude's a giant. Okay, the man is 6'4", next to her. And again, this is why it's so astounding, because the guy is a giant. He's incredibly tall, in all likelihood quite attractive. So you're surprised and offended that he has other women? Like, you've been on multiple casual dates with the guy. The man is 6'4", and you just assume that he's not seeing other women? And in all likelihood, you're seeing other dudes as well. So what exactly is the problem?
Tiny little female ring. So I laid like this all night. Literally just like waiting for the sunrise. In the morning he goes, "How'd you sleep?" I was like, "Honestly, I could have slept better, but this poked me all night." And I showed him the ring and he was like, "Oh my God, that is so embarrassing. That shows how long I haven't washed my sheets." First of all, that's more embarrassing than just saying you got laid the other night by a different bitch. I literally would not even mind. We're not exclusive, babe.
But of course she does mind. So she stayed awake all night apparently because of the ring, and then she wakes up and she's like, she shows the guy the ring and she's like, "I wouldn't have even minded, but I'm actually annoyed about the sheets." Guys, when girls do this crap, if you're a dude who's out there and you're casually dating, never apologize. Just never apologize. I think that men, for the most part, should just remove apologies from their vocabulary. Now, obviously, guys, there's times to apologize. There's times when maybe you screwed up. But in general, when dealing with these women, just remove it from your vocabulary. If this guy had said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah," she would have left him on the spot right there. But because he turns it into something else and starts talking about the sheets, he actually doesn't care that she saw the ring. It is what it is. She's probably going to be sticking around. Let's keep going.
But like saying you didn't wash your sheets in like that long, that's kind of gross, right? Double down on the body, same sheet, no wash. The fuck? So I handled it like a fucking champ, okay? Left like nothing was wrong. And now, a couple of days later, he's switching up on me. I'm done.
So she was mad. She quote unquote caught him with another girl's possessions, and now she's upset that he's not taking her seriously, not pushing for the relationship, quote unquote switching up on her. Guys, this is these girls dating in a nutshell. It makes absolutely no sense. I was talking, man, I wasn't talking to this guy, but I overheard a guy the other day talking. He was talking. It was a dude who thought that it was somehow a detriment to that girls know that you're seeing other women. And what I'm trying to say here is I overheard a guy basically saying that he thought it was a bad thing when women thought that you were seeing other women. Guys, let me tell you something, and a lot of you guys already know this. If you're a guy and you're out there dating and you're not seeing other women, a lot of the times you're repulsive to them, because girls don't want to date guys who have no other women who are interested in them, right? They'll say that they want a guy who's always going to be there for them, caring, compassionate, only has eyes for them, etc. But there are plenty of those men and they don't get any, so it is what it is. But guys, let's jump into some of these comments here, because from memory, they were pretty damn hilarious. Let's take a listen here if I can hit the right button. I love taking a look at these comments in these videos, guys, because it's all girls and you get some interesting perspectives here. So check this out, right? One individual comments here and says, "She left the ring for you, sis." And then the woman responds and said, "I left my hair in his brush as a sign, just in case." Okay, another girl here says, "I can one-up you here. I found fishnets with the crotch ripped out." I love how girls will do crap like this, right? They'll leave hair in his brush, or they'll leave, girls will leave, what are they, hair ties, fake eyelashes. Like, girls will leave things around your house just to be like, "Hey, look, he's a player," and try and frustrate the other girl. But you know what it does? Like, they'll try and make the guy look bad, and they'll try and chase off the competition by leaving their possessions in a man's house. But they don't seem to realize that all that does is just make the other women more interested and want to compete more. You see what I'm saying? Like, you would think, right, logically, we as guys would think to ourselves, "Hey, if we walked into a girl's house and we saw dude stuff there, I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm out, bro. I'm not interested." Okay, and women, they think the same way, but they don't. They come across possessions of another woman's in the dude's house, like rings, hairbrushes, self-care items, whatever the case may be. But that just makes them chase the man more. Like, I always think it's funny how girls will think that they're somehow warding off other women by being like, "Yo, I'm here too," by leaving some sort of possession. But it just makes the other women compete more. Like, they just dig themselves a deeper hole, and honestly, it's absolutely hilarious. But guys, let's jump into today's little article here, and then we're going to be wrapping up today's episode. And you know, I'm pretty happy with the direction the content is going in, guys, because female dating strategy has opened back up. So I'm going to be getting my content from here for quite some time, because every post is just a gold mine of just open misandry, to be honest with you. So we have a post here on the female dating website now, not subreddit anymore, because they decided to leave Reddit because apparently the bullying was so bad. Personally, I think it was because of the money, but it is what it is. So let's take a read of this. This woman here says, have any of you noticed this as well? And she posts a screenshot from Reddit that says, new manipulation tactic that I have noticed. It says, quote unquote, you are living in a fairy tale. So apparently, guys, it's manipulative for men to say that women are living in a fairy tale, because, you know, guys, Lord forbid you ever try and give one of these modern ladies, and I shouldn't even use the word ladies, but modern women, a dose of reality, because apparently, like, I love how reality is somehow bad, right? Like, we're supposed to just ignore reality. Welcome to the year 2022, guys. So, quote unquote, you're living in a fairy tale. It is a counter to asking for basic decency, apparently. First guy who said it, when I told him he can't dictate what I wear and who I hang out with, I dumped his ass. This newer guy just said that to me when I told him that yelling at me was unacceptable. I dumped his ass too. So I think, to be honest, guys, we're missing some context with the second one here. But look at this. This woman was told that, you know, he's not going to deal with a girl if she's wearing whatever and she's hanging out with whoever, which personally, guys, I think is a fine boundary. If you don't want to date a girl because she's wearing questionable things, she's hanging out with exes, a whole bunch of dudes, I think, to be fair, that is a very fair boundary for a man to have, and it makes a lot of sense. But of course, what does this woman do in this situation? She dumps his ass. Because who are you to forbid her from wearing whatever she wants and hanging out with whoever she wants? Let me tell you something. If you had, guys, if your mother, okay, or if you had a sister going out and doing these things, like, what on earth would you be thinking to yourself? Okay, you know what I mean? Like, imagine some wife is out here doing this, okay? Right? Like, your mother who's, like, married to your father, let's just say, I don't know what background you as an individual might be from when you're listening to this, right? But imagine if you had a mother and she was married. Do you think mothers who are married should be going around out here wearing whatever they want, hanging out with whoever they want, having a whole bunch of guy friends? Right, and then these are the same women who wonder why they can't get a ring. It's because men aren't interested in committing to girls who are going to dump men for having standards. Again, guys, it's totally inappropriate for men to have standards, but when women have them, when women have standards like this, I don't like men who say you're living in a fairy tale and they dump them. All of a sudden, it's you go queen. She says, I guess I'm providing a fairy tale lifestyle because I somehow managed to not do any of those things. I'm going crazy dealing with these a-holes. Yeah, I don't buy it. You wouldn't be so offended if you didn't do either of these things. Is this just a me thing, or have you ladies had this happen too? I'm guessing he got it from TikTok. I've noticed his feed was getting more misogynistic. Time to raise my standards and have a go again. Or maybe give up and start a female communal living thing. I'd like to see how that pans out. Let's take a look at some of these comments. Hey ladies, a new neg just dropped, she says. This lady here says, how tragic that they're trying to equate social/structure boundaries to living in a fairy tale. These losers just want a complete anarchy and no consequences for their behavior. Manners still exist, they are a thing for a reason. There's nothing fairy tale about them. If someone doesn't think pro-social behavior is important and likens it to fantasy, then run for your life. You know what, guys? I agree with this woman here. Run for your life, because these men have clearly dodged a bullet. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments, guys. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace. Yo guys, Past Taylor here. Just want to say thank you if you made it to the end of today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to our other content creators over here at Fiend Gang, Hadan from Peace of Mind, and Detective Warg. Their channels will be linked in the video description. They've been putting out consistent content for you guys to enjoy, so make sure that you go and show them some love. Their channels will be linked below. Also, guys, if you are interested in supporting the channel, make sure that you come and join us for free over on Locals or Patreon. On Locals and Patreon, you guys get access to archived video content that is no longer available here on YouTube, and supporters also get access to exclusive videos where we cover different kinds of topics that you won't see me talk about here on YouTube, because to be honest, YouTube just really doesn't like it. There's video topics such as how broken families are created and how men can avoid it, bad traits that men can have, the reason why women chase married men, etc. So if you're interested in supporting, make sure that you go and check that out. And lastly, guys, if you're interested in getting a character made like mine, be sure to hit up our artist at the Gecko Ninja. He is linked in the video description as well. He's been doing art for Fiend Gang for quite some time, so if his stuff interests you guys, make sure that you hit him up for a commission. As always, he will be linked below the video. But with all that being said, guys, make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next one, for real this time. Peace.